The world holds mysteries that defy our understanding of human biology. Dive into an emotional journey to meet extraordinary individuals whose very existence seems to blur the line between myth and the tangible reality of our daily lives. Number 10. Erin Honeycutt, Resilience in the Face of Beauty Standards. Erin Honeycutt is not content with just appearing in record books. She has become, almost despite herself, an icon for deconstructing gender norms. Suffering from polycystic ovary syndrome, PCOS, a hormonal condition that affects about 1 in 10 women, Erin had to face one of its most visible and stigmatized symptoms, hirsutism. For decades, her life was dictated by the anxiety of the razor, shaving up to 3 times a day to hide facial hair that society deemed unacceptable. This incessant struggle against her own biology generated colossal mental and physical fatigue. It was during the 2020 global lockdown that Erin made a radical decision. Freed from the permanent gaze of others, she chose to let her beard grow. What started as a personal experiment became a world record, with a beard exceeding 30 centimeters, 12 inches. Beyond the physical aspect, her story is one of reclaiming her body. She transformed a source of shame into a media strength, explaining that her femininity was not tied to the absence of hair, but to her inner strength. Her case provides necessary insight into hormonal imbalances, encouraging thousands of women with similar conditions to no longer hide. Erin proves that self-acceptance is the most powerful remedy against modern aesthetic dictates. Number 9. Kensley Pope, Body Image in the Era of the Attention Economy. Kensley Pope's story is a fascinating case study on the psychology of celebrity in the digital age. By claiming to have undergone surgery to add a third breast, she immediately captured the attention of international media. While this move may seem purely sensationalist, it reveals deep social mechanisms. In a world saturated with perfect and symmetrical images, Kensley chose the path of anatomical rupture to stand out. This modification, whether real or staged, questions our relationship with plastic surgery and the limits of voluntary body alteration. Why seek such a transformation? For Kensley, it was a deliberate strategy to become undesirable, according to traditional male beauty standards, while simultaneously becoming an unavoidable media curiosity. Her case perfectly illustrates the attention economy. On social media, the unusual possesses immediate market value. However, this raises ethical questions for the medical community and mental health. Her journey forces us to reflect on the pressure individuals face to exist in the public space, and the lengths to which some are willing to go to transform their own flesh into a political or commercial communication tool. Number 8. Kajol Khan, The Symbiosis Between Humanity and Wildlife. In the remote plains of India, young Kajol Khan lives an existence that seems to defy the laws of survival. The daughter of a veteran snake catcher, she grew up surrounded by king cobras, predators whose neurotoxic venom can kill a human in minutes. What stupefies observers is the relationship of absolute trust she maintains with these reptiles. Kajol plays, eats, and sleeps with them without a trace of fear. Despite several serious bites during her childhood, she has not only developed extraordinary psychological resilience, but also seems to exhibit a form of physiological tolerance to the venom. This interspecies connection raises questions about human instinct. While most people feel an ancestral fear of snakes, Kajol considers them her best friends. This situation creates a heartbreaking conflict between ancestral traditions and modernity. Her family and school authorities wish for her to lead an ordinary child's life, but Kajol feels like a stranger to that world. Her story is one of a rediscovered primitive harmony, a reminder that humans can, under exceptional conditions, break the barriers of animal communication to coexist with the most dangerous species on the planet. Number 7. Ayumi Takada, Anatomical Plasticity as Entertainment. Ayumi Takada illustrates how a minor genetic anomaly can be transformed into a world-class artistic talent. This young Japanese woman possesses exceptional elasticity in her earlobes. Capable of stretching over a surprising distance, her ears function almost like extra limbs. She can hang objects from them, grip brushes, or even hold an umbrella. This talent, though devoid of a vital function, has become a true entertainment phenomenon on digital platforms. From a medical perspective, This skin hyperlaxity could be linked to variations in collagen, but for Ayumi, it is primarily a means of bringing joy and wonder. In Japanese culture, where respect for norms is important, Ayumi uses her uniqueness to inject humor and lightheartedness. She does not seek to be perceived as a monster, but as a creative person playing with the limits of her physical envelope. She reminds us that the human body is an incredibly flexible machine, and that singularity, when embraced with self-deprecation, becomes a bridge between cultures, capable of making millions of spectators smile across the globe. Number 6. Jamie Kyton, The Mystery of Human Biological Adhesion. Jamie Kyton, better known as Canhead, possesses a dermal property that seems straight out of a science fiction movie. His skin acts like a natural suction cup, capable of making smooth objects like cans or glass bottles adhere without any artificial aid. Scientists who examined him discovered that his skin absorbs oxygen at an abnormally high level, creating constant suction pressure. But Jamie is not just adhesive. He exhibits other fascinating biological traits, such as a naturally higher-than-average body temperature and an ultra-fast healing capacity. Instead of considering this mutation a burden, Jamie has intelligently professionalized his condition. He travels the world for advertising events, becoming a living and highly memorable billboard. His journey is exemplary. He took a biological difference that could have marginalized him and turned it into a trademark. He represents the human capacity to adapt and prosper by exploiting the most unusual gifts nature has given us. Jamie Kyton is not just a Guinness World Record holder, he is an example of how understanding our own biology can open totally unexpected professional doors. Number 5. Samantha Ramsdell, Excess in the Service of Positive Influence. Samantha Ramsdell has the largest mouth gape in the world for a woman. Throughout her schooling, this physical characteristic was the target of incessant mockery. However, Samantha achieved a psychological masterstroke. She transformed her greatest insecurity into her greatest asset. Using social media, she began to showcase her anatomy with refreshing self-irony, ingesting impressive volumes of food for the enjoyment of her followers. Today, Samantha is a successful influencer, but her message goes far beyond simple visual entertainment. She speaks openly about mental health and how she learned to love the part of herself that others pointed at. By exposing herself in this way, she disarms critics. She shows that one can possess an extraordinary physical trait and still lead a brilliant, creative, and respected life. Her global influence testifies to a paradigm shift. Difference is no longer something to hide, but a unique signature that, if embraced, can become the foundation of a flourishing career and unshakable self-confidence. Number 4. Valeria Lukyanova, The Metaphysical Quest for Perfection. Valeria Lukyanova is undoubtedly one of the most controversial and enigmatic figures on the web. Nicknamed the Human Barbie, she has pushed the modification of her appearance to a level of precision that seems unreal. A tiny waist, frozen features, perfectly diaphanous skin, Valeria resembles a living porcelain doll. However, reducing her story to plastic surgery would be a mistake. She claims a spiritual and esoteric approach, presenting herself as a spiritual master for whom the body is merely a tool to express truths of another dimension. She advocates for extreme diets and intense meditative practices, which sparks heated debates about health and the influence she exerts over her young followers. Her case is symptomatic of a modern desire to transcend the flesh through sheer will. Between performance art and a mystical quest, Valeria Lukyanova forces the viewer to question the boundary between the natural and the fabricated. She embodies the extreme limit of what a human can impose on themselves to achieve an aesthetic ideal, raising essential questions about identity, self-image, and the dangers of seeking absolute perfection in an imperfect material world. Number 3. Teresa Widener, Resilience in the Face of Pica Disorder. Teresa Widener offers us a poignant look at the mysteries of atypical eating behaviors. Suffering from Pica syndrome, Teresa has felt an irrepressible need to consume stones for over 2 decades. Far from being a mere eccentricity, this condition is often linked to deep psychological needs or specific nutritional deficiencies. For Teresa, the act of chewing rocks is a source of calm and immense sensory satisfaction, a way to manage daily stress and emotions. What intrigues the medical community is the robustness of her organism, which, despite this unusual consumption, has shown no immediate major complications. Teresa has become an accidental spokesperson for those suffering from invisible disorders. Her story reminds us that the human mind possesses complex compensation mechanisms. She calls for a more humane and less judgmental approach to marginal behaviors. By sharing her life, she contributes to breaking the taboo surrounding eating disorders, emphasizing that behind every strange habit often lies an emotional survival strategy. Number 2. Kirill Tereshin, Aesthetic Obsession and Its Limits. Kirill Tereshin, the Russian Popeye, represents a living warning against the dangers of uncontrolled body modifications. Desperate to obtain impressive musculature in record time to become famous, he injected homemade mixtures of synthol into his arms. The result was massive inflammation and a spectacular deformation of his biceps. While notoriety was immediate, the medical consequences were disastrous. Tissue necrosis, risks of amputation, and heavy surgical interventions to extract the toxic substances. Kirill's journey is a case study on body dysmorphia and the social pressure exerted by image-sharing platforms. In his quest for recognition, he sacrificed his fundamental health. Today, he uses his platform to warn young people against the use of performance-enhancing drugs or substances foreign to the body. His story is one of difficult redemption, showing that fleeting fame is never worth the risk of destroying one's own body. He embodies the fragility of our biology in the face of aggressive chemical interventions and the crucial importance of psychological support in desires for extreme physical transformation. Number 1. Abby and Brittany Hensel, The Excellence of Duality. Abby and Brittany Hensel are arguably the most inspiring people in this analysis. As dicephalic conjoined twins, they share a single body, but each possesses their own heart, their own stomach, and above all, their own personality. Their life is a masterpiece of coordination and compromise. Every movement, whether walking, swimming, or driving a car, requires perfect synchronization between the two sisters, with each controlling one half of the body. What commands respect is their determination to lead an autonomous and fulfilling life. They obtained university degrees and work today as teachers, proving that their physical condition is not an obstacle to their social contribution. Abby's recent marriage also showed the world that their emotional life is as rich as anyone else's. They are the ultimate symbol of resilience and unity. They teach us that identity is not limited to a physical shell, but resides in the power of the will and the ability to collaborate with others to overcome the most complex challenges of existence. Number 11. The Unpredictables of Genetics. Between Science and Mystery. Genetics holds surprises that continue to fascinate and challenge the global scientific community. Clinical cases of extreme rarity are sometimes observed, such as newborns with extraocular structures or partial facial duplications, known by the medical name diprosopus. These phenomena are not random anomalies of nature, but open windows into the complex processes of embryogenesis and gene expression. Similarly, cases of fused twins force us to constantly rethink the limits of surgery and medical ethics. Each of these clinical cases is an opportunity for science to better understand how the human body is built and how it adapts. Between biological mystery and medical reality, these extraordinary destinies push researchers to explore new therapeutic avenues and refine our understanding of evolution. They remind us that life is a process of infinite complexity, where every variation, however surprising, participates in the great tapestry of human diversity. These individuals, by their simple existence, force humanity to broaden its definition of normality to include the full richness of the biological spectrum. These extraordinary destinies remind us that diversity is the very essence of our humanity. Beyond appearances, each story is a lesson in courage, inviting us to celebrate uniqueness in a world that seeks perfect uniformity.